Mark, you own a couple of different camps.
I do.
How did that all come about?
I had owned a couple of camps many years ago and left one of the camps to really help build Camp Taconic that I currently am involved with. And I was thinking of kind of getting involved in another camp because there was a time I did own 2 camps. And I ended up getting into the day camp world at Crestwood Country Day in Melville. And so I split my day, which is unusual. I split my summers, actually. I drive back and forth between Massachusetts and Long Island.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work and it's a lot of driving, but I figure out the right times to do it between rush hour and what I have to do at the different camps. And fortunately, I have great partners at each camp so that if I'm not there, I don't have to worry about how things are operating while I'm not around.
I know that you spent many years as a dentist. How did you go from being a dentist to owning camps?
So I actually owned a camp years ago when I was a dentist. And I then decided after about 10 years of doing both that I wanted to, kind of focus on camping. Basketball and swimming versus root canal, it's kind of a no-brainer. But in essence, running a camp isn't a whole lot different than running a dental practice. It's certainly more of a macro scale of things that you have to do, but you're basically dealing with people and making them comfortable and solving problems. And the hope is, like as a dentist, people come in with a problem, they don't want to see you, they might be crying, they might be apprehensive. As long as they're smiling on the way out the door, it works. And in camp, we deal with a lot of parents or kids that have either apprehension, homesickness, etc. But when the summer's over, you have a kid that's crying that they're leaving camp. And the tears are greater leaving camp than coming. So it's a great thing to see.
What are some of the top challenges you're facing this year going into camp season?
I think this year what a lot of camps are finding, and I certainly am not immune to it, is that it's just getting tougher to staff camps because there's a higher level of employment. There are kids in college that are looking for internships. We've definitely recruited earlier, and we've started programs the last couple of years where we incentivize other staff members by giving them some kind of a stipend when they find staff members. So not that staff members haven't done that in the past, but it gives them that extra incentive of going out of their way to say, hey, I have a great thing you could do this summer. And so maybe they end up with another $100 in their pocket.
And is that working?
It's very effective.
How about the camp population? Have you seen that? You have a camp on Long Island, you have a camp in Massachusetts. I know Long Island is certainly a busy place. Has the population of the campers changed?
There was a time where, camp was, very much centered around the typical middle class, Jewish family, etc. But what I have noticed is that there is a lot more interest on the part of South Asian and Asian families to coming to camp. Now, I actually have a school at Crestwood as well. But the preschool families actually, by speaking to other families in the school, realized the value of camping. And now we find that it's becoming more of a universal thought in the community when really, I'd say 5-10 years ago, there was no thought of camping for some of these demographics.
So what are some of the other challenges you think you might have going into camp, say this summer? I mean, you mentioned staffing, it's always a challenge. But what about technology and things of that nature?
Well, technology seems to always throw an extra curveball at camp directors. As technology becomes more prevalent, more miniaturized, more Wi-Fi, more coverage in different areas, it is always a problem of and certainly in the resident camp world, of keeping your campers away from technology. In the day camp world, most of my population, thank God, still are too young to be dealing in smartphones, et cetera, although they're starting. But it's also to have the staff understand and realize that they need to put that technology down for the day.
Well, you seem like you're doing very well with the challenges.
And I love it. In my wildest dreams, I never would have imagined I would have left the world of dentistry to dedicate myself to camping and children, which was my love growing up. And now it's been about 11 years since I was a dentist, and I hardly remember what it was like to do that. In camping, I've been doing this for 26 years. There's not one day that I've ever said, oh God, I gotta go to work. I don't view it as work. So If you can do something that you love and it doesn't seem like work, how great is that?